We join back in with our adventurers. After last week, they had successfully managed to enroll themselves into a few of the festival contests, as well as finding out and becoming a bit more interested in what is involved in the Doom Hackra, the large final race at the end of the festival, boasting 1,000 gold prize and a favour from the current Prime Minister. The group, after which, split into their separate parties, Eechie and Dante moving their way through pubs, taverns, and all the other likes to spread word of a new, exceptionally skilled driving team that had come into town that were currently open for work should any company be looking for such a thing. Volu and Eleni moving towards the temple of Astera and talking to an Andonite priest, and discover that the fears that they've had about the damage to Astera themselves is in fact true. And not sure right now what to do with this information as such, but knowing that they need to look into it some more, we join them now as they begin to make their way out of the temple. So for Eleni and Volu, it's about 5 p.m. You are just outside of the temple in the very, very peaceful air of the chantry. For Eechie and Dante, you guys are currently in a fairly rowdy, rough and tumble tavern deep within the Crucible. So we will start with Eleni and Volu. Which way are you going to head first? You know that you're meeting about 7 down in the Crucible Bloody Banner?
I mean, if it's 5 o'clock now, that's probably a bit late to be hitting a library up, isn't it? I feel like we should probably go freshen up maybe and then meet the guys. I don't know.
Yeah, because
it's going to take us a good half an hour anyway to get down the hill, not more.
And then it's about it was about 10-15 minutes away, wasn't it, the Bloody Manor, from where we were staying at the Rusty Bucket.
I think we're on the edge of the forge, aren't we? And then they're on the next one down, the Crucible. So
yeah, no, if we head there and freshen up and check in with the lovely barmaid, then yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you can start to make your way down. Are you planning to take the stairs down from the chantry, or make your way down the main road? So it's all down. It's a bit easier.
It looks like we're taking the longer route.
Okay, so you begin.
We've got time.
You begin taking the longer but nicer walk down into the Mythic Ward. As you exit out of the Chantry and move into the Mythic Ward, the Mythic itself is a distinctive ward in that it has large, open, lush green areas that are decorated with exotic and not even from Tuil plant life. As you begin to move deeper into the ward, you can see that a lot of the buildings, while they're still this uniform grey stone, they seem to show personality through adornings. So you see that some of them, whether that be crafted or magical, as you pass by, some of them have floating, not lights, but almost like decorations that float out the front of their house around the doors and such. You move further and further through, and you can see, as you did last time, you start to see more of the purple decorations, the almost like twisted purple ribbon that people are wearing. Some doors have it pinned to the side of them. I'd say that for Eleni, you would know-ish that it is one of the factions. I'll leave it up to you whether you know which, whether you think you've ever been interested enough to take interest in the two factions.
Probably not.
You know it's political, but you don't know. You usually this sort of stuff appears around rallies.
Her only interest in political stuff is if she thought that there was crime syndicate influence. She's not really caring who wins or loses. It's more about could that be something that's being influenced, or there's underhand dealings, or So I don't know if she cares particularly about which party is which and what they stand for or any of that sort of stuff.
And as you start to make your way through, you can see you enter that large open area that has the two older looking buildings that aren't actually older, but they've just been built in that more grand standing feel that you know to be the scriptorium and the library. Continuing past, there isn't a lot going on around this time. There are people going about their business. You do see actually around this time, two of the cloud engine vehicles. What are they called?
Aether Stream.
The Aether Stream vehicles, but there's a specific the cloud. It's cloud. It's not the cloud engines, but there's a cloud something.
I thought it was like cinder smoke.
Cinder smoke is the other one.
So I've just got cloud engine or cinder smoke.
Okay, so anyway, you haven't seen this specific vehicle before. It looks to be very similar to the one that the rich people were using to head up into the Zenith, but a much larger one. And it currently seems to be filled with young student-looking, range of races and all sorts, but they seem to be in their 13s, 14s, 15s, and it just seems to be slowly moving through the city. You would sort of, as you're moving, you would see it drop off a few of the kids that move off towards some buildings on the side. It is essentially a school bus. Okay.
Cool.
And would be able to continue your way further down. It is going to take you a little bit of time. It's probably added. You're probably talking 40 minutes to get down to your place.
Yeah.
Getting ready and then whatever else. So I'm going to pause on you there as you leave the Mythic Ward and move into the Forge Ward and get a bit closer to your location. And I'll jump over to Eechie and Dante that are currently in a tavern called the Paying Corpse. It's a lovely, lovely establishment. Your feet don't stick to the floor at all. Dante wanted to hit the more lower end establishments, and you're sort of you've run through the ones that are, nice but low end, and you're now into the and Eechie, the three guys over in the corner eyeing your purse is a bit weird, and you're deep into like local crucible, almost like verging on the edge of the city, where it's almost dense buildings and mostly residential.
Ichi's going to kind of like take a moment to lean over to Dante. Remind me, because I'm assuming the answer is yes. I'm guessing Dante/Chris is the one who wanted us to come to the lower end areas and be like, let's get our name out to the...
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Although to be clear, he wasn't saying that it was us. He was saying he'd heard of this mythical group.
You're saying
he's not actually saying we're that group. He's
he's saying that we should come here to spread the word.
They have said that they're known to be staying at the Bloody Banner.
Are we doing?
He's sort of saying
that's how you ourselves, currently.
I don't think so. Not that he said so. At the minute, he's just sort of saying that you two are staying at the Bloody Banner. You've run into this amazing team that are also staying at the inn. They've said they're looking for work, doing them a favor, putting the word out sort of thing, or even, however it's twisted it. It's been going quite well. People have been generally quite receptive to it. And it... But yeah, so Dante seems very
okay.
enthralled in this, and at least Eechie, when you see him like this, he's going to be at this for at least another half an hour or so.
Yeah.
Like he's currently like deep in a card game. He's winning. He's making friends. You're almost like it's a weird sign or side of him to see that sort of act. It is definitely a performance.
Yeah. But it's even though it's a
but he's
performance, it's still nice to see him kind of like enjoying because it's normally a miserable git. H is kind of going to be looking around and then gonna like lean in, tap Dante on the shoulder. Are you fine if I leave you here for a moment? I want to see if there's something else I can do.
Yeah. Well, what time are we meeting at the
7. About 2 hours or so, I'd say.
Yeah, I can meet you down that way.
Wonderful. Look after yourself.
Yeah.
And I'll kind of like squeeze him on the shoulder, like look after yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ichi will get up and leave the establishment. Can I head to one of the more like middle area kind of like taverns, not the like the upper crust, but like one of the like upper middle kind of areas?
Yeah, very easily. You would actually, so to be fair, the times that you have come here, even when you've come here with your master, you've only ever come here with your master when you're doing research. And you usually stay at a tavern on the Mythic Ward. 1 second, let me find out its name. It is. It's called the Scholar.
The Scholar.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm happy to roll like history check or any kind of like check. Have I, upon my few times that I've come into this city with my master and been around here, have I known of any, or have I at least heard tale of almost like an engineering family or some kind of like, again,
depends which way you go. So, give me a history.
Well, the main thing I'm looking for is anyone like that has a younger child, like obviously like still adult, but like a younger child who is viewed as a little bit of a family letdown, but still has the money, but is looking for their chance to prove themselves to their family. That's specifically what I'm looking for.
I say you're going to struggle on that one. I mean, you can go for it, but I would say give me a.
I've got both a D20 and a percentile die in hand.
Start with a D6.
D6. Oh, curveball to me, Liam.
Yeah,
I wasn't prepped for this one. Come here. Yeah. Middle of the road, 3.
Okay, so you haven't been in the city directly for 3 years. That is the last time. So you were here with your master 3 years ago, doing research, probably doing research into what kind of creatures burn towns to the ground.
Yeah, this was pre-Dante.
Yeah, and it will have been like your first outing, and part of that teaching was, we make use of the knowledge of the areas, we go to the local libraries, etc., etc., etc. You now can make me a history.
History. Not bad. No modifier. 16.
Okay, so you know of, so the first name that pops to your mind when you're thinking of like creators is the Glass family. The Glass family are the creators of the Cloud Engine and basically hold the monopoly on most of the city's Aether Stream transport. They are they run the company Cloud Glass, and that is who have the contracts with the city to make the school buses, to make the Richie Rich taxi fairways, to they are fairly prominent. With that, you also know that they're not super happy with the Cinder Smoke engine. The Cloud engine is clean, efficient, sustainable. It basically it's fairly hard and expensive to make, but once you've made it, it basically doesn't stop. The Cinder Smoke engines are really quite easy to make, quite surprisingly. Can be made out of scraps, but are also awful for the planet and are prone to explosions. The Cinder Smoke engines have come since the Yixen sort of released their black powder in exporting. So the Yixen started trading black powder now that they're a more established empire. And some random unnamed engineer from one of the tribal villages figured out how to take the black powder and create a thing that goes boom and forwards with it. And that sort of spread like wildfire. On the other side of things, so I'd say that the family members from there that that the current eldest, the current leader of the family is Lady Eleanor Glass. And you know that you don't know the younger brother's name because he's not in the public eye, but you know that they have a younger brother that pretty much focuses on the tech side, creation side of things. The other family that are with that role, a different side, but just as prominent, is the House Estaf. That's Estaf.
Yep.
They are all focused around the actual crafting side of things. So they came to prominence because their ancestor created the first workers' guild. So it started as a miners' guild, and then as the city grew, they developed it into it became miners and workers, and then it became the workers' guild. And they basically oversee crafting in the city. If somebody underpays a craftsman, they are who will turn up to make sure that it's paid properly. And you know that their current leader is Guildmaster Claudia Estaf. And there is Corvus Estaf, who so Claudia tends to deal with the political stuff, and Corvus is actual work safety, and they're the ones they actually work very closely with the Glass family, to sort of make equipment and tools that will make the job safer. Such as the other contract that the Glass family have, which is the platforms that you've seen. The floating platforms that can carry boxes and carry stuff tied down to them. The miners use that for hauling the crystals and all those sorts of things. Those are the two, with it being how long you've been in the city, you wouldn't know like the new up and coming one, but like those are the two that have been around since the last time you were in the city, and you've seen evidence that they're still around. Even on your way down here, you saw some Cloud Glass vehicles toting around the city.
Do I know, just like, even if it was just like a quick glance, a possible like uniform or like logo that the either like the Glass family have?
You would know with that role. So you know that you don't know where House Estaf is. what district of the city they live in, you know that their symbol is a stylized pickaxe. It's like a pickaxe and a shovel crossed beneath a single sturdy oak tree.
Mm-hmm.
So you know that's the symbol that's on any workers' guild buildings, anything that is under their system. A lot of like, if you go to a stonemason, it might have that symbol on the door to show that it's working with the guild, etc. The one that you do know where they are is House Glass. So there are two. They're basically in the same district. They're both up in the Zenith district.
Mm-hmm.
Their main estate is up in the Zenith district, but also the Cloud Glass facilities are also up there. Their offices, their labs and such, that's all up there.
Okay. I'm going to head towards the Zenith district, and as I'm walking around, I'm going to basically look for almost like either a tavern that appears to have a lot of like workers there from the Glass family, or at least from the Glass family industries.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I can't spot that, I will just go. I'm just going to go try and find the Glass family kind of like workshop. See if I can go find one of the higher ups.
Okay. Give me perception or investigation.
I will go with perception. Oh, 15. 9 plus 6.
Okay, so it is going to take you from where you are in the Crucible. So it's probably going to take you a good hour to get up there. I think, or you know that you can pay one of the taxis, and it's essentially like it's probably around 3 gold for it to take you to the Zenith, and it would take more like 25 minutes.
Yeah, I'll grab a taxi. I'll spend that 3 gold.
Okay. So you would be able to make your way up. So you know the taxi follows the main road for most of the journey, using the width and space that's currently that is available. You make good time as you get up to the bastion. It takes a they sort of lean over and say there's left Zenith, left peak or right peak. You know right peak because you haven't said to them Glass Industries. You've said the Zenith. For your knowledge, the Zenith goes up the peaks either side. However, they're both referred to as the Zenith.
Mm-hmm. Right, please, if you would not mind.
Not a problem at all. They turn the vehicle, and for Eechie, you've been on Aether Stream vehicles before, but you've been on the ones pulled by horse and carriage. This the experience of riding it, you are just floating. There is literally no bumps or movement. If you look around and out the back, there's the soft plume of cloud. It almost looks like if you look down, you can't see the road, and that's what's sort of given these engines their name. But it is a very comfortable, easy journey as you make your way up. Once you arrive at the Zenith and exit, you take a look around, and with your 15, it's going to take you maybe about 10 minutes to look around. The Glass Industries is just huge. You know exactly where that is. It's not hard. And the reason you know that where House Glass is because the last time you were in the city, your master helped them with a situation. Very similar in the sort of, if you imagine, witchery style. Often, some of the scientific and arcane people mess with something they shouldn't have messed with.
Yeah.
And they might call a watcher to help them rein that mess in. So you have actually been to the House Glass estate, but you were like, don't speak. They're very important. I'll do all the talking. And it was something minor around steam methods, and it was just dealt with. But you know where that is within the place. With the 15, you managed to find the Cloud House Inn, which looks to be very expensive, as most of the Zenith does, and seems to be more of an inn than a tavern. As you sort of looking through the windows, it's like people quietly sitting having their meal for tea. It's not like serving, they've got waiters. It's not like they've got like a bar as such or anything like that. But with the 15, you do manage to find a tavern. Known as the Ale Stream Tavern.
AEL.
Yeah, literally, like, and their sign is like pouring a tap, ever pouring with ale out.
So AEL or ALE?
ALE. And as you sort of look into there, it's not like, oh, they're definitely glass workers, but there's a lot of people dressed in the similar robe. And it looks to be like they're like clean sheet robes rather than, like it's almost like all one gown, if that makes sense. And there are a number of those people within the tavern. This still looks to be an expensive-ish tavern. However, also is that weird thing of, and you would know this, you probably have experienced this less, but within the Zenith, there are still the workers that they get good pay for working for House Glass, but they still need to live near, or maybe they're just here having a drink with their friends before they head down to wherever it is they can afford to live. But it's sort of, you imagine this tavern is lower, on the lowest end of class that the Zenith allows to sort of bridge that gap for those workers that might be in and around, and also bring in quite a lot of business. But yeah, as you would you want to head into there, or would you want to head up to a facility as such?
I'll head up to the main facility first.
Okay, so I'll pause on you there as you're heading up to the main facility. Volu and Eleni, you've made the long walk down, and as you're turning onto the street that heads down towards the Rusty Bucket, can you both drop me perceptions?
Ooh, that's ominous.
Perception. Ooh.
Oh, hang on a minute. It's being a pain.
Dirty 20.
Does help if I actually log into Roll20, doesn't it? 17.
Okay, so you turn onto the road, and first of all, the road is very empty, except for 3 figures that are stood in the center of the road, and currently they are looking up and down. They don't seem to have seen you. They said they have seen you, but they're not noting you yet, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But they're actually stood outside of the Rust Bucket, but they're looking at the shop that you made your deliveries to.
Okay.
And
how far away are we from them?
So you are maybe about 40, 45 foot. That's where the street turns in. So you sort of turn that corner. If you imagine that you're at the corner of a building, you're walking on the pavement, and then 45 into the middle of the road is the 3 guys, or the 3 figures. They are hooded. They are purposefully covering their features. You would notice Eleni with Volu with the 20. the one that's closest to you has looked at you and is and almost turned away from you to say like 2 people on the end, right? Like but they have noted that you were there.
Are there other side streets? Are there other shops? Are there other sort of things along this road?
So directly to your left is where, so if you imagine you've turned onto this street, the road carried on.
Yeah.
Straight past the end of this road. But if you walk down this road, it's like a block before the next. So the next side street or turn off, that is a purposeful one to point out, because Eleni would be able to note there's like a fence I could definitely jump there, and there's non-purposeful, but the next proper exit is maybe 10 foot after them.
But are there other shops that are still open, like other places that we could walk into?
They don't. The only open thing on the street looks to be the Rusty Bucket. That even notes, and Volu, again, you are the only one that picks this up, the shop they're staring at is closed. The lady that you dropped her name has Dana, that you dropped the stuff to, would have closed for the night at this point.
Okay.
What are you doing in this instant? As you round the corner, they look, turn back.
Can I insight them? Can I see? Do they look like they're casing the joint? Do I think they're looking for us?
Yeah, you could drop an insight. Volu, what are you doing?
I'm gonna just turn towards Eleni and do telepathy, going, we need to kind of watch out here because they've clocked us.
Yeah, which is good because I only got an 11, so.
Yeah, maybe casing the joint. Definitely up to definitely not up to good stuff.
Yeah.
But not necessarily related to you, as it were. As you're sort of doing this, and Volu, you turn, you give the message. The third one that saw you sort of receives a message and turns back, and they just push back the cloak. And as they turn to face you, you see a tabaxi. Under the hooded cloak, scruffy grey fur, still like the snout sticking out, and they sort of just pull the cloak and hook it on their sword that's still in their belt, and just sort of face the end. They don't approach, but they like turn and show that they are armed.
I think I would just carry on walking towards them nonchalantly, like I'm going to the pub. That's where I'm going.
It's not our issue.
Nothing to do with us.
I'll give you kind of a double look, but then follow suit.
You start to move, maybe crossing the road and showing that you're not going down that side of the street. Yeah. As you make your way about 10 foot towards them, sort of crossing the road and making your way towards the furthest window of Dana's shop, and a potion bottle or one of the ointment bottles like smashes on the street. The tabaxi for a second looks around, but also keeps an eye back on you. And you sort of hear,
someone's thrown a potion out of the shop.
Out of the shop, and you hear muffled voices like from inside of the shop.
Oh.
See, and seeing that, the tabaxi's hand rests on the weapon, but they will sort of step, allowing you to the pub, but they sort of back to the shop, but they're keeping their front to you, but they're stepping to show like, if you're just going that way, go that way.
Can we see any effects of the potion that was thrown?
You know that she wasn't a potion person like that. It was very much herbal remedies. The cream that was in that thing is like spilled out over the floor.
Question, Liam.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I can go invisible, and we know that anything that I'm wearing or carrying on my person becomes invisible as well. I think we worked out that carrying a person doesn't count, does it? No. So even if I'm covered in with my coat or something like that.
Okay,
because I'm big and my coat's
I'm thinking
oversized.
You're big and he's small. So
and
what I'm going to say,
too big for me.
So what I'm going to say is normally, because this is this will be the trade-off. Normally, you can lift Volu with no impediment to your movement.
Yeah.
Because it's just he's so light, it's easy to lift.
But
him
also, I can lift things as if I'm
exactly. Yeah. I'm gonna say that for you to be able to lift him in a way that he can hide his form within you, because he's basically almost gonna have to like hold himself up at your waist and
he's
legs.
Gonna have to be
So it is going to impede your movement. So you are gonna half speed, but it will allow him to make us to be within your person enough that invisibility would cover him. However, if he falls out from your person, you're knocked, you're pushed, whatever, the effect is only on you.
Yes, no, that makes sense. Okay, I'm just going to carry on heading towards the inn then, and almost just like look away and down as if like I'm not looking at you, I'm not seeing you, I'm not involved in this stuff that's going on. Do you know what I mean? Almost as if I'm just like, oh, that's nothing to do with me. I'm just carrying on towards the pub, and I'm just going to sort of usher Volu along as if, come on, let's get in the pub.
I'm gonna kind of linger a little bit, see what's going on. It will almost take Eleni dragging me away to kind of clock that we need to move.
Yeah, and I would. I'd almost grab you by the hand as if you're a child, which I know you might not like, but I'm just gonna like get hold of you and be like, "Come on, nothing to do with us," like, and sort of.
Yeah, I'll resist resist a little bit, but you are too strong for me. Then.
And then when we get inside and behind a door or a corner or something where they can't see us, then I want to speak to Volu.
You begin, Eleni, you look down and away, you move past, you begin to move past. Volu stops and looks for a moment. Again, the tabaxi sort of shows the blade a little as Eleni grabs Volu's hand and pulls. The middle figure turns and glances over, and you see a almost like just the glimpse of a yellow eye staring back at you over the shoulder.
Okay.
As you're moving in, you move into the rusty buckets, like fenced area. You're moving up the stairs. The voice says, "Hold on a second, you two."
Who says?
It's just a voice from behind you.
Okay.
Okay.
It is up to you whether you stop or whether you go in. You are at the door.
So are we at the door or on the stairs?
So like you've got up the stairs, you'll go like hand on the hand, like moving to open the door,
right?
And from behind you, a voice says, "Hang on a second."
Are we inside the building or outside, Liam? I'm just trying to picture this.
Outside the building. You're at the front door of the building.
Oh, I see. So there's steps up to the front door.
Yeah. There's like little steps up to the front door.
Oh, okay.
And you're about to enter the tavern. Which also, as you're getting closer to it, it is quiet here. There's none of the normal noises from within inside the tavern that.
So I would stop, but I would only turn to the side and not look at them, and almost just like acknowledge by turning my head, but I'm still looking down.
So, well, you might be able to help us, maybe. Looking for a halfling by the name of Volu. That wouldn't be your friend there, would it? Looks awfully similar, is all.
1 second.
As they sort of turn and face you fully, they brush back the hood, and you see a red tiefling skin, the yellow eyes piercing, one full twisted horn to the right, on the left side. The right side is cut, and not in a clean, nice way. It is jaggedly, as if it was ripped off at one of the twists.
So tiefling with one horn. Okay.
Red tiefling, twisted horn, which is the left one. If it were to be, if it, I know there's only one, but if it were to be two, it would be on the left or the right.
My brain's gone. I think I
Doesn't
just
matter.
said on the. I think I did just say the left side is full and the right side is snapped.
Okay. I'm gonna sort of. It's still not really looking. I'm just gonna say there are lots of halflings in this place. My friend here is not called Volu. He's called Clovis.
So are you saying anything, or what are you doing in this moment? Like, because you are being pulled.
And
you're being
I
sort
would
of
say
dragged away.
I would be like almost in front of him. I'm like again, like as if you had a small child with you. I've still got hold of his hand and I've sort of turned, but just like no mate, you got the wrong person.
I would reach into my cloak a little bit and put one hand on my mace.
So I'm going to say, so you reach down to reach into your cloak. You're not wearing your cloak right now, buddy.
I am. I didn't give it away, did I not?
I thought you did put it down. Or were you going to come back?
No, I kept hold of it. I wanted to keep it for as long as possible.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
In which case, you are still wearing it. So you
And
reach
he is
down.
behind me.
Yeah. You reach down and hand goes to the mace. Make me a deception check, Eleni.
Deception. Oh no, that's a 3.
They
That's not good.
Not even advantage would help.
Not even guidance or anything would have helped there, I don't think.
So I think both of your passive perceptions are enough to pick this up. They speak back to you, so there is no pause in this, but at the same time make a hand signal to the guy on their right. So that as they respond to you, oh, there are a lot of halflings, but not many that wear a wonderfully crafted leaf and cloak.
At that point, I would turn round, face them, and go, well, if you had your facts right, you'd see that a Clovis Notwise has entered a certain cloak into the weaving competition.
They, as you're doing that, the one to the right whistles. But the one in front says, well, Clovis.
Clovis Notwise.
Well, either, yes, very much so. Our boss needs to have a little chat. If nothing else to clear your names, but it is going to have to be now.
No, hang on a minute. Who is your boss and clear our names of what?
Do you? None of you have anything? You haven't been given anything from Eechie or anything, have you?
No.
And you weren't together.
No.
You are not together currently. So.
Apart from the sandwich I gave them, because I immediately bought
Which
it.
has been eaten.
Yeah, so it's technically inside.
That is in our bellies.
Look. We're pretty sure your name. Look, if some of our halflings sold you a cloak or something, then we still need to clear that up because that halfling stole something from our boss. The boss is the Madam Oracle. Do you want to give me a?
Sorry, you broke up there, Liam. Sorry.
Our boss is Madam Oracle. Do you want to give me history checks?
I mean, I've never been here before.
I've never been here before.
No.
I'm happy to give it a go.
I mean, not 20.
Ooh.
Okay. So, Eleni, no, never heard of it. Volu, you have once. Very, very close to the beginning of your arrival back here, when you met up with Eleni and she took you down to stay with her in Clearpool. When you were in one of the taverns in Clearpool, You heard an argument about a shipment for a Madam Oracle. That is the only time you've ever heard that name. Even as they say this, the guy to the left and right start spreading themselves a little bit. The tabaxi keeps hand on weapon and is moving to cover more of the left of the street. The one on the right you can see seems to be a half orc, and they are brandishing a bow as they bring that into full and knock an arrow.
So we've got a half orc, a tiefling, and a tabaxi, and whoever's in the shop throwing potions around.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say, look, I think you've made a mistake. You're more than welcome to look through our possessions if you think that we've stolen something. I can assure you that we don't have anything that's stolen on our persons or in our rooms. If your boss wants to meet us, then let's make a proper appointment. We have business to attend ourselves tonight. I'm sorry, I've never heard of your boss. I'm sure she's never heard of me. You've gone mute, Liam.
The tiefling steps forward, and you can definitely tell there's this air of diplomacy, but they're all still moving into positions.
Yes, I know.
And the tiefling says, well, I understand, but unfortunately, this name came up, and we have tracked this name to this lovely establishment. And as they're talking, the door of Dana's shop busts open, and a Goliath steps out, currently carrying Dana by the scruff of the neck. And she's like, "Me, you brute!" And she's like, as she sees you two, she sort of, I'd say your passive insights would pick up her eyes widen and a sort of like get the guards, strangers. I need help. But they're trying to like not give up. Like I would say that your insights are enough to pick up that these people have been asking Dana about you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we didn't know about this at that point, so she definitely mentioned Volu.
Yeah.
Well, Dana's a clever cookie and knows a criminal when she sees one. And generally doesn't give up her clients, even when she can help it.
We can assume that if she's spoken, she said the actual name, but whether she has or not, we don't know.
Well,
that
you would
now.
also know that her records would have your name on it because you would have signed like when you took the job on.
How far apart are they from each other?
So, you are currently 20 feet from the tiefling, who is directly down the steps and in front of you. Like if you imagine down the steps out the path, they're sort of stepping towards the end of the gate to sort of close you into this pub bit.
Yeah.
15 foot to their left, also at the fence of the pub's perimeter, is the tabaxi. And 20 foot to the right, still in the road, is the half-orc archer.
So they're all about 20 feet from each other?
Roughly. The only one that's a bit different is 30 foot, because they're still stood at the door of Dana's shop, is the Goliath who's holding Dana. As you're sort of taking this in, and Eleni, I'd say for you, you've been in situations like this where it's closing in, and even every step, every moment you think the tiefling is taking a step, they're starting to put a hand on the gate. As this is happening, a call from down the street is like, "Oh, you thugs, get out of here! I've called the guard!" and there's no sign of movement right now, but there is a look from the tiefling to the other two, and you would hear them say, "We don't have time for this," and they nod. As that happens, there is a smash as Dana clatters a bottle of something into the face of the Goliath.
Oh, wow.
And initiative is starting. Whether you don't have to join it, but the tension...
She's going to get herself killed, isn't she?
The tension has built to a standard that the mistakes that might be being made by Dana, but you don't have to be very clear, you don't have to join the fight. Dana has initiated combat.
You say we don't, but...
I mean, this is nasty men beating up a defenseless woman. Right. Just yeah.
She gave me an apple. I'm going to fight her.
Oh, Jesus
I'm
Christ.
glad I gave you that sandwich that one time.
I know.
So
it will.
I am going to glance at Volu and almost just be like, we should try and get out of here. What the fuck is that?
That's an awful roll. A 9.
Yeah, you want initiative, don't you? Sorry.
I do, please.
I don't know if that rolled or not. 11. Yeah, I am going to look at Volu and be like, are we doing this or are we going to make a run?
Well, with those initiatives, you might not have a choice.
I know.
Yeah, telepathically, I'm going to respond and go, I've already got my hand on my mace. We need to act now.
All right, but if we get a chance to run for it, we run for it.
Any opening, yeah.
Okay. Shit.
Are we in an enclosed staircase or?
No, it's like if you imagine it, there's just rails either side. It's literally just steps up to the door.
So it's a bit like an old Wild West kind of.
Yeah, but there's no deck out the front. It's literally just steps, like maybe a 1 foot plinth, and then the door. Right, like it just goes to the door. The garden itself is fairly open. The lot in front of you spans 30 foot left and right of the street. If you imagine that's like the plot of the fence. So the fence around this place is 30 by 40. Okay, so first we begin with Dana on a surprise round. As she attempts... Luckily at advantage because she stealthed it. Okay, so the Goliath is not expecting it. And even though you see as she like panic fumbles the bottle in her hand, she just slaps it to his face. And as it collides, there's this of air and dust. They need to... Okay, they immediately begin like... and start coughing and sneezing and wheezing and like almost like they're crippled with it. As they drop her, she lands to the floor, goes inside the shop, slams the door shut, but you don't hear any bolts go, as that would be her action. But she basically like gets dropped, pushes him to the doorstep, goes inside and slams the door.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
no,
she ain't a fighter. But you can see that the Goliath is just wheezing and coughing. His eyes are streaming with water or whatever that she's thrown in his face. Does seem to have had a decent effect on them. However, seeing that, the tiefling is going to move into action.
It wasn't us that did that.
It's not, but they want to talk with Volan.
He's not here.
Okay, so The tiefling moves a step through the gate and pulls out a like a stiletto style dagger.
Okay.
But they hold position as they seem prepped. Sorry. Okay, yeah. So the Tabaxi to the left jumps the fence and moves straight up to Eleni's right as they draw their rapier-like sword and start thrusting towards you. As they do, they unfurl their cloak.
Right.
And you can see that they're using like a cloak and rapier style attack, and they are going to use a distracting attack on you.
Lovely.
So this is a maneuver. So they need to hit first, to be fair. So a 17 to hit as the rapier strikes in towards you. So they will expend a superiority dice. Wait, no, it's not the one I wanted. No, sorry, a goading attack is what they were after, sorry. So they spend the superiority die, and then can you make me a wisdom saving throw?
Oh, no, that was the one. Wisdom save.
Okay, so you see that they're cutting and slashing towards you. They do 5 points of piercing damage as they stick the rapier through your shoulder. But Eleni, you can tell that the way they're attacking and sort of nipping at you, they're trying to hold your attention. They're trying to make you focus on them instead, as this one here moves 5, 10, 15 to the right side, kneels down, and seems to do something, but you can't see what they're doing. The Goliath just coughs and like trying to like wipe their eyes out, but they stumble. So they sort of like go to move into the door, but they are currently blind. So they like bounce off the door and sort of stumble back into the road a little bit. After which, Eleni.
Damn.
Uh-oh.
So the guy with the rapier is too close for me to do anything ranged at all. Let's start one. Okay, and I can't really run and leave volley. Or Clovis, even. Okay. Oh. Right, I think I'm gonna try this, Liam, but I'm hoping I'm using this right. So I'm going to cast Zephyr Strike, which it says I can give myself advantage on a weapon attack on my turn. Okay, and I can do extra movement, can't I? So I'm basically dashing. Right. So I'm just gonna very quietly say to Valoon, sorry about this, and I'm gonna cast Zephyr Strike. Let me cast it, and then it's used. I'm going to move sort of around this guy to here, then do the attack on him. And I'm going to attack him with my shit. Ooh. No, I don't know how that works. Right, okay, no, I'm going to attack him with my quarterstaff. So I'm going to do that at advantage. And
are you versatiling it as well, by the way? Are you two-handy attacking with it?
Yeah, I'm two-handing it if I hit him. I'm just
Yeah.
thinking if I've got advantage, I'm going to go with the quarterstaff because that
Yeah, so
potentially
it'll be a
yeah.
D8 with the versatile.
So, oh, that's a 20.
Okay, definitely hits.
Okay, so that's a D8.
Also,
Oh,
to remind you,
rubbish.
if you want to do anything additional with this attack,
That was a 3, Liam. It rolled in D&D Beyond, but not on the thing for some reason. So 3 damage.
so it's well. So and again, if you want to do anything extra on this attack, or if you're saving it for your second attack.
Oh, I've got 2 attacks. Sorry.
But also, like I said, so you remember that you can do Swarmkeeper stuff once a turn for free after any attack, after any
Sorry.
successful hit. No, I'm just
Yeah.
reminding you because we are.
No, I'm glad you are. It's been a couple of weeks since we played,
and we are new to these characters, so
Yeah.
we will get used to these. But so firstly,
yeah,
the Zephyr
think the
Strike does an additional 8 5s because that's what that 5 is.
Oh, right. Okay.
So 8 points of damage from the actual hit against the back.
And then, so do I want them to? Right, I want it to move them. I want the swarm to just fly into his face. So he has to do a strength save or be moved. So yeah. So can you do a strength save?
An 8,
please?
which I'm pretty sure is
an 8 fails. So he has moved 15 feet. And I've lost my map.
Nice.
Where is he? Oh, bloody hell.
So,
Sorry.
Horizontally in the direction of your choice. Yeah. So what direction do you want to move them 15 foot?
That's where I'm going. Right. Okay. So I want him to literally be shoved to the right 15 feet.
This way, sorry.
Yeah. So
away
I'm
from
trying
Volley.
to create a gap.
Okay, yeah.
So that Volley could get around behind me.
Okay, so you see Eleni swirl into this silvery motion. Almost all of her cloak and all of her items becoming a little bit spectral and almost a little moth-bitten as she swirls through, and as she comes through and strikes him with the quarterstaff, the moths burst out and lift him, throwing him over to the side. Volu, don't go yet.
And then I have a second attack.
By turns. Yeah, you do have a second attack, and you still have movement because your speed now increases.
Yeah. So I will now step. So yeah, I've only gone 5, 10, 15. I'm going to step up to him now, and I'm just going to do a normal hit on him with the quarterstaff.
Okay. He was taking the dodge action. That's why I didn't step towards you.
Okay,
so it's disadvantage on the attack. Oh,
it's a 15 either way.
Either way, you manage to hit him as you bring the staff through.
And that's a 3. For some reason, my damage rolls aren't coming through to the roll 20, which is weird. But yeah, that was another 3.
3 to him. Okay. As you crack him across the face.
Yeah.
Anything else from Eleni?
That was bonus and action, and I'm going to stand my ground.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's me, I think.
Okay, after which, Volu?
So I am going to use movement to go 25 feet. So 5, 10, 20, 25. It's put me behind the road for some reason.
Yeah.
You might have to put the road on the map layer.
Yeah.
Okay. And then how far away are they? 40 feet. Okay. I am then gonna go to the guy who was prepping something.
Yeah, as you get to there, so they were ducked down behind the fence, and you can now see that they've currently got some sort of black, red rope wrapped sack, and they are currently bringing an arrow out as if they've just dipped the tip in it.
I'm gonna see that, and that's gonna make me want to go full ham, where before I was kind of just going to start an attack. Now see that and panic a little bit, and I'm going to do a level 3 guiding bolt.
Okay.
Originally it was level 1, but once I saw that, it jumped up to level 1.
No, I like it as well because Volu's still very new to his magic, so actually it's very reflexive of his emotional state.
I'm liking instead of Archie with the sacred flame. We've now got Volu going guiding bolt.
Well, I like it as well in terms of usually clerics are well trained and versed in the arts of magic, and if you just had access to all this divine magic, but it just responded when you asked it to. But yeah, throw away, make your attack roll.
So what do I need? Oh, it's just I don't need anything, do I?
It's
No, it's
just
just
an attack,
somatic. It's just verbal and somatic. So yeah, I kind of passed over that way, and kind of let out a little shriek as I. What's they got to do?
You attack roll them, so it'll be
Yeah.
a spell attack roll. Oh, 22. Nice, definite hit. As that, what does it look like as it streaks towards and collides with them?
So it almost comes leaping out of mainly the middle. As I'm doing that, it's mainly these two fingers, the index and the middle finger, and two bolts of lightning go out of my hand, and they kind of interweave with each other, kind of not allowing the person to even figure out where it's going, and then it hits their body.
Nice. And as it does, they need to no, it automatically does it as it lights them up. So they roll damage if you would like to roll damage, and they begin to glow with this faint, almost like electric aura cackling over them that gives the next attack advantage.
Yeah. Did that come through? Yeah,
yes.
It did.
Yes.
18 points.
Okay, as that strikes them, it hits them, throwing them back against the fence, and they fall forwards, having to catch themselves. As they sort of sit there for a second, you see the blood cough up and splatter on the floor in front of them. They are pretty injured off that hit.
I will react slightly and not kind of be like I wasn't expecting it to be that powerful, and kind of look at my hands and be a little bit frightened of what I just did. Bonus. Can I? Do I still have a bonus action?
You haven't used it. It's guiding bolt's normal action.
Yeah. So at that point, I'm going to see that you're still right in somebody else's face, and I'm going to cast Sanctuary towards yourself as my bonus action.
Remind me what that does then.
They have to make a wisdom save if they target you, and if they fail, they have to target someone else.
Right. Okay.
However, it ends when you attack somebody.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Is that everything from Volu?
Yeah, that's everything. Let me just note those.
Okay, after Volu, on Dana's turn, you hear the of locks being done on the other side of the door. And top of the round, the tiefling. Okay, so they definitely take as that bolt of magic just through the street. They definitely look like okay, maybe it's not the easy pickup that we thought. However, they okay, so yeah, they try to roll to between you. As again, they sort of move in front to the side of Eleni. As they do so, they say, Igor, 2 steps back. And you can see the blind one's just he's just swinging wildly at the minute. And
do we get a reaction for that movement?
No, because he hasn't left any areas.
He's still within range of us. When he leaves our range, we can opportunity attack him.
Right, okay.
And they are actually going to attempt to shove Eleni back towards the pub. And they're going to try and kick you backwards in towards the pub. So it'll be a
contested grapple.
Yes, athletics or acrobatics from yourself.
Okay, I will do that one. That's 13.
They are the aggressor, so meet to beat as they plant the foot against you. You hold firm for a second before it's almost the grass underneath you that gives way first, and you are slid 5 foot back into that garden space. They are going to step up.
Does that count as an attack, Liam?
Yes.
Shouldn't he have made a wisdom save?
Oh, sorry. Yes, he should. My apologies before we do that. Wisdom. Oh, not 20, 22. Yeah, he'll need to continue making them, but he manages to shove you back. He is then going to step up towards Eleni, giving Volu an attack of opportunity if you wish to take it.
Yeah. I kind of swing at him with my mace.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I can't, will the mace even reach, actually?
Wait, yeah, you can make a mace because he's just stepped out.
Yeah. Okay.
And then up in the Zenith world, Eechie. That's just the lobby music of Cloud Glass.
Very, very posh people sat around with cocktails and.
Do you like another cup of tea, sir? And then back to Volu and Eleni.
Yeah, I got a 19.
Okay, that is a hit. Deal damage.
Where's my damage on here? There we go. Oh. 4 points of damage.
Okay. You clatter them across the back of the leg as they're leaving that space, and they wince as they go. They make a motion at the Tabaxi to try and to join in and sort of help with Eleni.
Tabaxi is the one in the garden with us, yeah?
Yeah, the one that you threw.
Okay.
Okay, yes. So they are going to move back up to Eleni, moving into flank.
Yeah.
They will then strike towards you with their rapier. Only a 9 to hit.
Misses.
Oh, wait, sorry. Advantage. 13.
Misses.
Okay, so he's still managing to duck in between the thrust and slashes of the attacks. However, now surrounded. The bowman will step. You see that they do start to move away. So they 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 away from you before turning with their arrow knocked and loosing towards Volu.
Oh, good.
I think a 10, however, misses you.
It does.
As they knock a second and loose the final time for this turn. A 12, I still think misses you.
Misses.
Okay, the 2 arrows over your head. They then shoot out 2 distinct whistles and are looking like they're backing up away. The Goliath.
Uh-oh.
Clears the stuff. His eyes seem to clear a little bit, and turning around to see Volu, they just barrel towards you and bring a heavy fist down towards Volu.
Is that what that 16 was for?
No, the 16 was the con to be clear of the effect that was blinding him.
All right, okay. I thought you were saying for the punch.
No, the roll to hit is only an 8 as the first one. The second, they are going to try and grapple you. So athletics or acrobatics from Volu.
Acrobatics.
Oh.
9.
Wow.
We rolled the same thing, interestingly enough. Well, but no. So
I'm slippery.
No, you are slippery and
You're
it's still
not one, Liam.
No, I know the nat one is still busted. So the hands are trying to reach down, but you're slippery enough as it is, and the dust is still in their eyes. They're still giving, even though the cough has cleared, they're still giving like in between, trying to like get hold of you, and you are able to evade any sort of hands on you. Lenny, your go.
Okay, and Lenny is going to cast Ensnaring Strike because I believe that it just says weapon attack. It doesn't say it has to be ranged.
That's good.
So do I think the tiefling's the boss?
Looks like the leader in any case.
Right. So sorry, there's a moth in here as well. As I start waving paper around, it's because I'm killing moths. So yeah, I'm going to cast Ensnaring Strike, and I'm going to try and hit the tiefling.
Okay.
So let's do that again. Which is only a 6.
The first one, they duck under that first swing.
Oh, damn, and only a 9 on the second one.
And as you bring it back down again, they're deflecting away from you. So Ensnaring Strike is on until the next time you hit with the weapon.
Yes,
or until your concentration drops.
But that's rather irritating. That's my action and my bonus action. I'm going to stop there.
Okay.
Okay.
Volu. There's a large Goliath trying to grab hold of you. Arrows flying towards you, and Lenny currently fighting off the Tabaxi and the Tiefling. I would say your passives can notice there are people appearing on the street, and I think in the distance you would be able to hear the whistle of guard whistles.
Okay. Did the Goliath take damage from Dana?
Hard to tell.
No, did he take any hit points?
And it's hard to tell.
We don't know.
You can see that their face is all scuffed, but they're also very tough. It might have just been the powder effect, or it might have done damage.
I'll do it anyway. As I'm kind of ducking and weaving and avoiding the grapples, I'm gonna just look at him and kind of point in his face and then cast Toll the Dead.
Okay. So for the purposes of damage on Toll the Dead, he is. You are using D12s. So it is a Wisdom save.
Yeah, Wisdom save.
16.
Yeah, that's enough.
Okay, so unfortunately you ring off the bell, but they run it away and keep trying to get hold of it. You've still got bonus and movement.
Okay. Bonus. I don't think I can do anything bonus wise. No, not really. So at that point, when I've missed, I'm just kind of trying kind of like skid away and move 10 feet in.
Okay, they are going to try and grapple you as their attack of opportunity. Mm-hmm. So do it me another athletics or acrobatics.
18.
Slippery as you are, you feel the grip of the meaty hand around the back of your cloak, you would be one step to the left because it wouldn't have activated until you stepped out of that square.
Cool.
But you feel them not so fast.
And back in a very, very posh inn in the Zenith.
Yeah.
We've still got
Eechie's still on the elevator to the Zenith.
I'm just enjoying my taxi ride, like, oh, this is great.
Yeah. Legit.
Nothing could go wrong. I wonder how everyone is.
And to be fair, it is not a bad point as we come to the top of the round to flick back over to
Oh no!
So Ichi, you were heading your way up to the glass industries. You make your way up the winding roads of the Zenith before reaching the very, very large estate and buildings that belong to the glass industries, cloud glass industries. You can very clearly see that there is so there's a walled off area, which is the labs and stuff, and it looks very high security, and they've got their own guards patrolling and all that sort of stuff. But there is a very clear building that is for office purposes, business purposes, that you can just walk into and talk to members of the business about certain things.
Yeah, I'll confidently walk up to the office or reception kind of area.
Yeah, okay, so you head into the reception. You can see that most of the desks at this time seem to be empty. There is a gnome, seeming to be male, sat behind the desks, and they are they're giving you, with your passive insight, that very much of 5-10 more minutes and I get to go. Everything's packed up on the desk, everything's sorted and clean. Even as you come in, somebody leaves and says, "I'll see you in the morning," and they're like, "Oh, I'll see you in the morning," and you would be able to head in. And as you do, welcome to Cloud Glass Industries. How may I help you?
Hello. I was wondering if you were able to help me get in quick contact with the one of the overseers and leads of the establishment. I did some business with them a few years ago in regards to and I'll kind of tap the logo on my breastplate in regards to the watchers.
There's definitely there's familiarity, but there's not an instant oh yeah. But they're okay. They were well, I mean, if they will see you at their estate, to make a business meeting as such, you would have to submit a request form, which I can happily get for you. But you understand that the Lady Glass is very busy during business hours, and usually there is a long list to see them, but they do produce a form. You can see it's sort of who you're from, why you're interested, what services Cloud Glass could provide to enhance your business. They're not used to randoms or individuals off the street coming in like that. They do so, however, if you're looking to buy something for a more personal model, you would have to see Archibald tomorrow. That is our lead sales person. They handle all of the individual's requirements.
Wonderful. This was more to do with a general check-in after some previous events as to what happened with the last time that they required my services. I was with my master then, and since it is now just me, I would like to do I'm checking in on those businesses in which we have helped previously. So this is more of a previous business follow-up.
Well, in which case, I think that Miss Glass would be back here tomorrow during normal business hours, or you could try at their estate. They might not see you, but
I don't want to disturb them this evening, as I can see you're also getting ready to go home. If you wouldn't mind leaving a note with them that I will be back tomorrow morning to just have a check-in from previous business and perhaps discuss further.
And who is it that I might say is?
My name is Eechie.
Eechie the Watcher. Is that right?
Eechie the Watcher. My more specific title is an Iris Knight from the Order of the Iris.
They write that down. I will make sure this is on their desk first thing.
Thank you very much. Have a lovely evening.
And to yourself, Eechie. They again, they're not hurrying you out, but they're sort of like watching you go and smiling.
As soon as I kind of like stop and kind of like have that moment of like pausing, and then I'll be like, I do the very British thing of the when someone opens the door of like the jog to the door.
And lead yourself back out onto the streets of the Zenith.
And then I'll start making my way back to the tavern.
Give me a perception.
14? Yeah, 14. 8 plus 6.
Okay. 1 moment. Okay, so you as you're sort of leaving and heading away from the main compound, over to the right, deep within the compound itself, you notice there's almost like a plume of the white steam you can't see what it's coming out of, but you can see the plume that's coming out of it before it sputters and then just nothing, and it's too dark to see what, but there's almost all of a sudden, and there's no massive explosion or noise from it, there was just this plume of white smoke, and then it just sort of putters out and stops.
Does it look like it's coming from an open area, or
it seems to be, but also it seems to be within the buildings, so almost maybe an open courtyard in the middle of the buildings, maybe.
Yeah, but like would probably be in a restricted area to get to.
Oh yeah, like you it's well within the fenced area.
Okay, cool. I will make a mental note of that, and by that I mean a height note right here.
Yeah.
Smoke seen within the complex.
And I would say steam. I would say note steam because it is definitively
steam,
it's definitively similar to the Aether, the cloud glass vehicles.
Cool. Each will look at that. Get out a little notepad, write that down, close it. Well, I guess I'll see you tomorrow. And we'll just start, making their way back to the tavern, assuming all is well. Dante's having some good gambling.
Are you?
Who knows what's going on with with the other two? But probably good fun. You know, they're enjoying the company, having a great time. Nothing could be going wrong.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Are you planning to take a leisurely stroll down, or are you going to taxi down again? You've got time either way. You're not because your taxi up saved you enough time.
I'll take another taxi down. Each kind of like enjoyed the experience. So I was like, yeah, I'll pay another 3 gold. Well, 3-4 gold because I'm guessing it's a little bit further. I don't know. No,
because you were further than the Crucible previously. So it would it's actually 2 gold, 6 silver to get back
2
to
gold,
Bloody
6
Banner.
silver. Wonderful. I'll pass that to the driver and enjoy another little journey.
Okay.
That's back in. Music hits off.
Yeah. And just exactly that, Lenny, as the tiefling in front of you, sort of seeing that the Goliath has hold of the Volu, or what they believe to be Volu. They flick back their cloak and they pull out it looks to be a throwing dagger.
Right.
and they throw it. Would they disadvantage themselves on that one? No, they're going to take the attack of opportunity from you, Eleni, to step away. So they will receive an attack of opportunity from you.
Okay.
13 just misses as they duck under the swing and loose one of the throwing daggers towards Volu. $18 to hit you, Volu.
It does.
Okay, so they do 4 points of damage as the small throwing dagger sticks into your shoulder. But as it does, can you make me a Constitution saving throw, please?
Six.
Oh, Volu.
I was just thinking I was having some nice rolls for a change.
Mm.
And then, yeah.
Okay, so you feel the dagger stick in, and like you can feel the Goliath tugging at your cloak. But as you go to as it sort of knocks you and you go to take a step, you just stumble, and you feel drunk. And as you sort of start to step up again, you fade to black and pass out. For Eleni, you see this sort of stumble, and then Volu just eyes roll up and just into the arms of the Goliath.
Ah. Okay.
The tiefling now will hand signal once more to the tabaxi, call down the street to the half orc, clear the street, and they are then going to say 5. They're going to 5. So that's 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 to there. The tabaxi next to you, Eleni, again, almost seeing this this moment, they switch around you, pulling to the fence side, again bringing up the rapier and slashing across your across.
Wisdom save, unless it's not still up.
Yes, it is. Well, is it Sanctuary is not concentration, is it? But no, it's not up anymore. You have attacked. That ends it.
Yeah, yeah, it's not concentration.
Right, yes,
I have advantage against it when I take damage anyway, but yeah.
Okay.
So they are going to slash at you with the rapier. It's going to miss with only a 10.
Yeah.
They are going to hold their ground, however, still pointing their rapier at you.
Okay.
The one down the street fishes into their back pocket, pulls out it's almost like an arrow wrapped.
Okay.
It seems to be wrapped oddly, loads it up and fires once down the street. Let me see if they actually shoot well, because they might mess it up. No. The arrow thunks into the middle of the street about here, and Elenia a smoke starts to.
Okay.
So for Eleni's knowledge, so it fills immediately a 10-foot area.
Right.
But it is growing. They then turn and start running up this street and off the end of the map that way.
Okay.
The Goliath
Who's now surrounded by smoke?
scoops up Volu, but doesn't move. So the smoke is growing in front of the Goliath. You can see that they're clutching at Volu. The Tabaxi's sword is in your face. Tiefling is to the left.
Can he scoop Volu's in his arms?
Volu's in one arm, like
okay,
almost like sagged. They're not like bundled.
So I will still step into the smoke because I'm hoping that gives the guy disadvantage if he wants to opportunity attack me.
Well, he doesn't even get the attack of opportunity because he can't see you.
Yeah, so I will sort of step up towards, and then I'm going to smack the Goliath with my quarterstaff.
Okay, so you're going to rush out and swing at the Goliath with the quarterstaff.
21.
21 to hit definitely hits him.
Yes.
So let me roll the damage from the quarterstaff, which is only a 3, but then I get the ensnaring strike stuff.
And do you want an additional anything?
Yeah, I might do. So hang on. So
ensnaring strike is a save from me.
1d6. So hang on. So it's you have to do a strength saving throw or be restrained. Is he large or is he just normal?
He's normal, but he got a 15.
You needed a 15.
Okay, so he's not restrained.
So he's not restrained. So he doesn't take any extra damage. That's okay.
No, so as you hit him with the quarterstaff, vines start to lash around him, but he just tears them away with a big meaty hand, just rips them off himself.
That's fine. I'm then going to do the bonus action Zephyr Strike.
Okay.
I'm confused about what I've cast and what I haven't. Yeah, okay. Bonus action Zephyr Strike.
Yeah, because you've not actually cast anything this turn. That the ensnaring strike was cast previously.
Yeah. And then I'm going to try and do. Oh, hang on a minute. Then I've got my swarm as well. Because I did hit him.
Yeah. Don't forget to, if you wish to use your
let me just look at the map again. This is going to be a shit roll, but I'm just going to try and snatch Colin.
Wait, don't forget, are you using your swarm extras at all?
Well, I'm thinking I can use my swarm extra to move us once I've got hold of him.
You could. Yeah, for sure you can.
And to give me a head start, sort of thing.
Yeah, that is also valid.
Although the Zephyr Strike gives me 60 feet movement, doesn't it? Oh,
it does.
Well, 45 because I've moved 15.
Yeah.
I've moved 10. So, yeah, I'm just going to try and snatch. I'm going to try and grab Volu.
Okay, so at advantage, athletics.
16.
And it is versus the Goliath's 13.
Ooh.
So in the fumble, they're not phased by the vines that are wrapping around them, but that moment where they're ripping away the vines loosens the grip on Volu for a second.
Yeah. So I snatch him, and I'm going to almost like wrap my cloak around him, like sort of shove him inside my coat.
Okay, as you do, the white spectral moth-like cloak wraps up and around Volu.
Yeah, and then I'm going to use it to move me 5 feet, so I can move to there, and then I'm going to do a full 50-foot dash, sort of that way. Hang on, where's my rule? Right, that way. To the left.
So
would it be 40 feet?
It's 50 because I had 60 and I moved 10.
Cool. Yeah. Okay, so
because it's Zephyr Strike, the Goliath doesn't get an opportunity attack.
He doesn't.
Oh, nice.
He's 20 from there, and you're another 20 past there. Okay, so you are currently 40 foot up the street.
Yeah.
From the tiefling.
Yeah. And I think that's everything. Sorry for the messing about there, guys.
No, that's so good.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
not complaining.
Well,
Just the order that you do things in is really important.
yeah, for sure. Okay. Volum, unfortunately, you are a snoozing.
Does he not get to save on his turn then?
No, unfortunately, he is, while he is poisoned, so for an hour, he is unconscious. He can be woken by another creature, but that requires an action to do.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm just trying to get away with him at the moment.
Okay, so you hear the teeth like, "You fucking idiots! Keep hold of him!" They're gonna try it. So they're gonna run. You would see they suddenly burst into speed. They're gonna use their tabaxi feline agility.
So this is the tabaxi, not the tiefling.
No, sorry.
Because tiefling goes first.
Tiefling goes first. He swears and shouts, and it does shout at the tabaxi like after them. They are going to run forwards 20.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to pull out another one of their throwing daggers and throw it towards Eleni.
Okay. That misses.
And
wow, your rolling's been terrible.
They're not
as well
been great.
Tonight.
As one of these almost like black shiny throwing daggers like buries itself in a post by where you've been running. However, with the rest of their movement, they dart right and take one of the fences that you had noted would lead into a back.
Okay.
Offshoot. The Tabaxi and the Goliath seem to give chase.
Mm-hmm.
The Tabaxi will use their feline agility.
Super speed.
Yep, so it allows them to double move, but for one movement. That will allow them, because it's 30 to the edge. Well, no, it's like 35 to the edge, and then you're 20 past the edge right now.
Yeah.
So you are 55 from them. So they rush up to the back of you.
Mm-hmm.
And they are going to once again attempt to strike Eleni with the rapier. With only a 10, you hear it up behind you, but again only whipping through cloak. The Goliath double moves to get level with you.
Yeah.
But that is all they can do.
Okay.
Hey, Lenny, back to you. Also, just on our side one, each you make me a perception.
22, 16 plus 6.
Okay. I could start in a minute.
So are they side by side?
No, so if you imagine, so we'll use where we are on the map to sort of represent.
Right.
So Goliath is stood next to you, so south from you on the map, and the Tabaxi is behind
me.
Yeah.
Okay. They
weren't able to get into flanking because they're using all the movement to keep it.
In which case, and the other guy's behind us, isn't he?
The tiefling. So yeah, the other guy is gone. They seem to have run the other direction.
No, the tiefling guy.
The tiefling has disappeared behind a fence. So he basically, with his other movement, ran this way and jumped over a back fence that is now out of sight. Seems to be moving.
Right. In which case, I am going to hold. I'm going to wrap the coat even tighter around me. And I am going to bonus action hidden step and become invisible.
Okay, so I'm going to say for the period to keep Volu invisible in that, you are going to be half speed.
That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Because then I am going to move and action move.
Okay.
And I'm basically, Liam, what I want to try and do is, and I'm going to sort of show you, like, I'm going to sort of go 1, 2, 3, 4, like say 20 feet outwards.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I'm clear of them, I almost want to come like 5, 6, 7, 8. And I don't know if there are side things down these streets down here, down these shops. So it won't let me double click. How do I ping now?
Hold.
Oh yeah, right. So hold, not double click. So yeah, are there sort of side alleys down this way?
There is one just further up from you there, but you wouldn't be able to reach it. I'd say.
So hang on. So let me count that again. So from here.
Yeah, I'd say your nearest one is this edge.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
So I'll say, because it's fenced, I'll say it would be your movement to get to the fence, and then it will be your whole action to get you and Volu over the other side of the fence.
That is fine.
And can you give me a disadvantage stealth to attempt to do it? So actually, no, it's going to be a flat.
I don't know if I would. I don't know if I would go over the fence, but I'm happy to make a stealth.
So you can't get into the side street without going over. That's why I was. So this is it. It's not a normal pathway. It is a bit between two houses that is blocked off.
Shit. Yeah, that's crap. That's a 9.
It's okay. You get you and Volu into. So you're currently, if you imagine, like at Granny's house, the side bit down in between, like it's an enclosed area that you can only access from somebody's back garden, or if you scale that fence. So you do manage to make it over.
Yeah.
But you would know that there was a bit of a as you drop down the other side.
Yeah. But I definitely tried to get away from their immediate range before I chose a direction.
Yes, you went forwards. Well, to be fair, you go invisible in front of them, right? Like
I go invisible right in front of them, but then
you went forwards and then chose a direction.
Yeah, so that in theory they can't feel the movement of the air.
Okay, so Eechie, having a great time. This cloud taxi offered you spring water. It's chilled. The taxi driver has a little bit of arcane, and he's been talking away to you. You can only do little cantrips, and he's done a bit of Ray of Frost to chill your water to perfection. And just as you're taking, he sort of says to you like, "Oh, if you look out the right, you can see right into the Xanagath desert." You look out, and for a split second, as you if you imagine your taxi passes a side street that's not that thin, you can see Eleni holding Volu being chased by somebody down the street. But the taxi passes that street. And when you sort of look back the second time, so just as the taxi is pulling you out of view completely, you can now only see the two figures that you can definitely pick out as a Goliath and a Tabaxi in black capes and hoods, wielding weapons. They have weapons out, but they're the only ones you can see. You looked. Oh, there's Eleni and Volu running down the street. I went, what? There's just the two that were chasing them now. The taxi driver's still oh, this used to be a lovely part of town, as he's still just pulling down the main road towards the Crucible.
Sorry, actually, would you be able to let me out here?
I thought you were going to say Eechie puts his feet up on the chair.
Yeah. Leans forward. How much to go away? Just take me to another city. Let's just keep going.
Yeah.
You and I, we're adventuring buddies now.
As you say, can I get out? He's I mean, you can, but I can't give you back the fare. It's
no, do not worry. If anything, I was fully expecting for you to keep all of it, and I'll pass over 6 as well. And that is for a tip as well, because this service has been phenomenal. And I will be certain to make sure I recommend this particular mode of transportation to anyone that I meet. You have been a wondrous journey companion. Thank you very much.
So, to tell everyone, Clarence the driver.
Clarence the driver, of course. It's locked. I've written a note.
Clarence the driver.
Bye.
They just start tootling away.
Leave on the back seat.
So you begin running, and it is like half a street back up because the vehicle kept going at the speed it was going at. As you begin running back up, as we come to their turn, so they, first of all, so one of them has the passive to hear your landing.
Yeah.
The other one doesn't. So on the first one's turn, they are going to try and perceive and sort of take a look around. Is the Tabaxi sort of like looking around like, shit, fucking disappeared. I hate magic. The Goliath sort of was like, calm down a second. And they're actually going to try and survival and look for footprints and bits of grass that are disturbed. And they start looking around for that sort of thing. Again, the sort of milling around. Are you stopping on the other side of that fence, Eleni, or are you just...
Well, it's not my go.
Well, so we are sort of in a rough out of combat into combat. You can in their turn, you hear them milling around. They take a few steps. The Goliath takes a few steps in the direction of the sound and is scanning the grass.
Mm-hmm.
The Tabaxi's looking up this way. But as we come to your turn, there's no aha, right? So there's no. They've not found a trail. So what would you like to do?
So I don't think Volu's dead though. Sorry.
We hope.
Go ahead.
How did I do that? Oh, there we go.
So
I need relayering again.
Yeah, you need to put the red on the map layer.
Wow.
Because we can't see Volu.
Select.
I am invisible.
Invisible.
Good.
Excellent. So what are my options here? Right, obviously
right
there's this very narrow.
Now in front of you, there is a very narrow strip, and you can see that it leads into one of the back gardens to the residential. Because not all of these are shops. Some of them are residential, some of them are shops with residents above them. But it leads into the back garden. You can then see through the back garden, and if you imagine that the street behind, it's like their back gardens touch.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got like row of houses, back gardens that meet in the middle. So there is a
like
dividing.
Multi-story, or are they just like one story?
These ones are lower down and maybe two 2-story maximum. But you can see, so basically directly in front of you, you could make a run and head to the other street, or you could go left and right and head down the back gardens.
So I am going to head down the back, but before I do that, where's my character sheet gone? Before I do this, I am going to cast Pass Without Trace.
Okay.
On me and Volu, even though he's unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's an action. So I'm gonna cast that. Because that says I can't be tracked except by magical means.
Yeah, you don't leave any normal traces behind, and you get a +10 to your stealth.
Yeah, so I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to try and go down the back. So that's my action.
Mm-hmm.
So I can only move 15 if I'm still carrying volume.
And try no. So the half speed was only because you were trying to cover him in the invisibility. If you're just trying to carry him and stealth normally, then then stealthing is half
speed. Because the invisibility would go when I cast the spell.
The stealthing is half speed. Yeah, so you can go 15 in super stealthy.
So if I do my stealth, oh Jesus,
it's a 17 because it's +10.
Okay, yeah, 17. And then 5, 10, 15, just sort of further in down here.
Okay, yeah, and you poke your head, and this does seem to be a residential building. You can see that the back garden's fairly well kept for, but there's sort of like seating areas, and it's more looks like somebody's back garden as opposed to a business.
Anything that I can climb?
Besides the buildings, or
so no sort of trellises or stairs or fire escapes.
nothing of that sort in this area immediately, not in your immediate vicinity.
Right. I was trying to think,
Because
trying
right
to get
now,
up
if
the back
you
of the house or something like that, up the back of the building.
right now, if you imagine there's almost like a back garden fenced off like this.
Yeah. Okay.
And I mean, like looking up the houses, there are. Eleni could climb this house, no problem. Eleni might struggle to climb the house while carrying Volu. If you imagine there's points where you could stand on that windowsill, and Eleni's height means that 2 hands up, she can grab the next windowsill up, and you could sort of, like grab the door frame, and you could shimmy your way up this building, but not while holding and carrying Volu.
So just to check though, on my next go, Pass Without Trace will still be running.
Oh yeah, that goes for an hour as long as you concentrate.
But I don't have to actively stealth for that. So once I get round the back of this house, I could stop stealthing and then just move at a normal rate, carrying Volu and get up and try and get up.
It just means that it just means that a passive of 10 would spot you. Just to be clear.
Yeah, but if I can go out of the way of the
yeah.
Okay.
I'm just letting you know so you understand how.
I mean, it might change. They might spot us, but yeah, it was just a thought.
Yeah, okay. No, that's perfectly fine. Okay, so Eechie, you round the corner of this street to see 2 very out of breath figures, one Tabaxi and one Goliath, who are currently like scanning around. The Tabaxi's like checking high, looking on roofs, and the Goliath is currently like looking at the grass intently, like checking the bushes and searching around.
Is there anything about their like gang members don't wear bloody uniforms, do they?
No. Give me an insight, because obviously you already sort of had an inkling or knowledge that that someone was looking for Volu.
Yeah, no, I know that, but my insight was a 2 plus 3 for a 6.
No, just
okay, so putting 2 and 2 together of just seeing my friends running from these people and assuming they don't know who the fuck I am, Eechie will kind of like as he kind of approaches the corner, sees them, like steps back, like calms the breath and walks around confidently, notices them. Sorry, have we lost something? Can I help?
To actually no, it's fine. As you're sort of asking this, they look up the other way, and there is again that encroaching whistle sound of the guards approaching. They seem to be coming from the other end of the street. The Tabaxi sort of looks at the Goliath, so says, "Forget it. It is jewelry. It is an item. We will get it back. We'll find it another time." And they begin moving up past Eechie and away. The Goliath is like staring in the direction that they heard a noise in, but besides it looking weird, them just climbing a fence. You like again, sort of like, yeah, all right. Well, I'll buy you a new one, maybe. I'm so sorry I knocked out your hand. And they start like moving up towards. They do walk. They're not sprinting away, but they are definitively moving away from where the guards are now coming to.
Eechie is going to stay as a kind of middle point of like, here's where the guards are approaching, sees where they're leaving, and is going to kind of like
stay on that corner.
Yeah, kind of like stay on that corner so that when the guards come, I can kind of be like,
yeah. Yeah, that's best. Okay, so
Completely nonchalantly, like yawn.
Yeah. So getting back to Eleni in the back garden, there's been no
Can
signs.
I hear Eechie? Can I hear or see him?
Give me a perception, because while you do have good senses, your heart is pounding in your ears right now.
Nat 20, baby.
And the nat one.
I'm gonna
balance
say that you hear the voice that brings your attention to it. So you hear Ichi's voice, but not what Ichi says.
Okay.
And that makes you listen. You then hear what the Tabaxi and the Goliath said to Ichi. So that no, don't worry, we just lost the ring. It doesn't matter. Leave it. We'll find. We'll come back and look for it tomorrow, maybe. And you hear that happen, and then the sort of footsteps continuing up the street. You can also hear the whistle of the guard to the right of this map.
Can I sort of gently slap?
It's an action to wake up Volu.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not gonna move or go anywhere yet, but I'm just gonna try and wake Volu up.
So Volu, you are still poisoned for an hour. So if you'd like to add the poisoned condition,
okay.
But you sort of wake and open your eyes. The dagger is still sticking out of the shoulder.
Ooh, okay.
I'll kind of stir and go, and I see the dagger, and the last thing I remember is fighting a Goliath, so I'm going to kind of just swing my arms and kind of...
yeah, I'm just going to say, Volu, it's okay. Are you okay? And then I'm going to give him a health potion, sort of put it in his hand, and then I'm going to, because Pass Without Trace is still running?
Yeah.
So I would then creep back down to see if I can spot where Eechie is and see if they've all gone. Definitely.
Okay, make me a new flat stealth with the +10.
22.
Okay, so you make your way down and peering through a crack. You can now hear this. You can hear the sort of shouting of guards saying guards, clear the area. And they're sort of starting to move. Tell us what happened. But they're mostly focused on the obvious damage of the shop, like the windows busted, and that's the more obvious of the things that are broken and damaged. Peering out, you can see Ichi sort of stood on a corner, just sort of stood nonchalantly waiting.
I'm gonna give a whistle to the guards of try and get their attention.
Yeah, and as you do, you can see Dana also exits and is about time you got here, and starts talking to them as well. But you would be able to see that.
If I don't see any of the bad guys, I would probably wave in Ichi's direction.
Okay,
Ichi, still stay.
Just so almost from behind, or poking over a back fence, you see the orange tufts of hair from Eleni, and they give you a wave.
And if you see me, I'd probably just go as if I'll come here. But then I'll duck back down. Yeah.
I'll pop
as
a hand up.
Two guards start approaching and say, "Yes, sir. What can we help?"
I witnessed two individuals after hearing all this commotion head that way. A Goliath and a Tabaxi. They seemed to be. They played it off as looking for jewelry, but I believe they were trying to hurt some people. I just wanted to help out as much as I can.
Okay. One of them does write it down. The other one one of them begins heading up that way. The other one sort of says, "Thank you for your help." They say, he sort of shouts down, "Let's hold up the street, Sergeant. So let's clear it up and check the area." You can see that one of the guards has already gone to one of the daggers that missed you. That's stuck in a post. Eleni, as well as you're looking at the dagger that's in Volu, it is not a standard make, not by any means magical or special, but it looks like somebody made this to be unique. It's the sort of so if you imagine a dagger without any sort of hilt, so it's just the metal straight down. But then it has almost like the stages of the moon, like hole punched into the handle.
Oh, okay.
So if you imagine the full moon is where you would put your finger through. So if you imagine it's actually, similar to a kunai or whatever.
Yes.
There's the hole for the full moon is where the finger goes, but the design up the shaft is then the next moon phase, the next moon phase, the next moon phase.
Right, okay.
They're not magical, but it's definitely like either the person is a craftsman themselves or they requestedly made these. This is a special order.
I would very carefully. I mean, I go back to Volu. I know he might not have taken the potion yet, but I'm going to very carefully remove the dagger. And I'm going to wrap it in something, Liam, just in case it's still got poison on the blade. So I'd be very careful about not touching it. And then, if he hadn't already taken the potion, I would make him take the potion.
So I think I'd be in a bit of a dizzy state still, so you kind of need to force it down me.
2d4 plus 2. So that's 9 healing.
Oh, thank you.
Eechie, the guards sort of leave you to it as they start looking over things and checking the area for any signs of anything else that they can find.
I'll wander over to is it the other side of the wall that I saw them
So it's basically, if you imagine that the space between two houses has been fenced off on this side so that you can only access it from the back, they've jumped that fence.
Cool. I'll wander over to the fence and then I'll just lean against it, tilt my head towards it and just say, I'll meet you on the main road.
Okay.
And then Ichi will walk towards the main road where the alley they assume would open up.
Okay. Volu, can you walk?
I'm kind of at that point, kind of clutching to my my amulet on my chest and kind of coming to a little bit and kind of look around and see the look in Eleni's face and be like, I can try. So then I'll get down and be a little bit weak, but stumble along.
And then I would sort of head out to meet Ichi.
Okay, you are able to meet up on the end of the street. By the time you sort of make your way down that way, there is another unit of guards down by the end. You could see that you'd be able to see that Dana's talking to 2 or 3. There's a bunch of different people from the tavern that were looking out of the windows and watching what was going on, and
so they'd have seen me and Volu fighting.
However, I would say that as you're passing and heading up, at least where they're up to right now, the stories are currently around how they originally turned up and kicked in Dana's shop door, and so you gather that they had been there maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes before you even arrived, and that already the street had, someone had already run to get the guards.
Yeah,
it just takes some time.
Well, okay.
But you would be able to meet up at the end of the road.
Yeah, I would head up to where Eechie is.
What happened there?
They were looking for our friend Clovis.
They were looking for them, or they were looking for someone else?
They were looking for someone else, but they had the description of the cloak.
Of course.
And wanted us to go and see their boss.
At that point, I kind of stammer and say, someone called Madam Oracle?
Yes, Madam Oracle. Never heard of her though, have you?
Does that sound familiar?
Eechie, give. So I will say yes. So, Madam oracle, though not the name you have ever been given, you think is that bugbear that you met in the beginning, in that back room. The one who
spoke to us, or the one who was quietly watching?
The one who spoke to you. The one whose business you had directly impacted.
I had that as a male person for some reason in my head.
No,
it was a female. Okay.
Well, to be fair, I'm pretty sure I might have said they were very androgynous.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. Just in my head, I thought that was a.
But also, Ichi, Madam Oracle specifically, not the name you've always like. This is you have worked with Dr. X before.
Mm-hmm.
This is your first dealing with this new person. However, you would fairly easily be put two and two together from what Eleni's saying. What would ring out for you, Ichi, is that none of the guys that you just saw, you've not seen them working around the shops that you've done deliveries to before. They're definitely not Dr. X's people, and you didn't see them. You know, like when you went through and you saw all the thugs in the back room playing cards, and the orc Goro that you're supposed to like liaise with if you know and listen, and if he gives messages. Didn't look like necessarily their people. However, you also know that could have just been, they might have just put out a description and said, bring us this halfling reward.
Yeah. Like, could just be bounty hunters for them.
Or just other thugs in the city.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not safe around here. They had hurt Dana, asking questions about us, and would have done worse if she hadn't have been so quick thinking and smashing them in the face with something. I don't know if we can stay here now. Where's Dante?
They're down in the
clip to a pub. Cheers.
And then a time lapse, 10 minutes later, and Dante's in the corner crying because they've lost everything.
Yeah. But the chaotic embers, they are rumoured all over the place.
He's down in the Crucible, isn't he?
He is still down in the Crucible. Although, to be fair, you would imagine
around now
he'll probably be leaving. He'll be leaving and heading towards the Bloody Banner to meet you lot.
He should be on his way.
Ichi. From the insights and general interactions, the bugbear you spoke to did not seem, while definitely going to take their own and not listening to what, they didn't seem fair in any means, but they weren't like, oh, you've lost something, you're dead, right? Like they were, you're going to pay it back somehow. Essentially, I'd say that there are two ways you would know from having dealt with people like this. There's two ways around it. We either leave the city immediately and disappear outside of their reach, or we go and talk to them in a controlled manner that we can control.
I would have said to Eechie as well, actually, sorry, Matt, but I would have said to Eechie as well that he said that this Volu had stolen something, but also he said we needed to clear our names.
Okay. Very similar interaction. I like just with more words, I suppose, thrown in when we had the interaction of because the item was in our possession and is no longer in our possession, and Volu's name is on the list. They are probably just trying to clear up that that I'm not just covering for this Volu individual. But these people have eyes and people everywhere, and it is very difficult to be off their list once you're on it, unless, of course, you get off of it favorably. We can either leave the city tonight and try and make as much progression as we can away, or we can go talk to them. We go and talk to them.
I don't like bullies, Ichi.
I know you don't like bullies, neither do I.
I am happy to go and I offered to go and speak to this whoever, but under our own terms.
Well, let's make it our own terms then.
Don't want to leave.
The city?
I don't want to leave yet.
We found some things out, Eechie, that we need some time to think about, and we didn't get a chance to go to the library yet either.
No, I haven't either.
We need to know more.
Maybe you need a disguise, Wally. And maybe you need to hand that cloak in earlier. Although you did tell them the name. You did say that it belonged to Clovis, not Wise, now.
Regardless, they've seen your face. And if we do go and speak to them, which is probably the safer option, they will then be able to confirm whether or not you're going by Clovis. They will have a face and a new name to put to it.
I mean, I can disguise myself, but I can't change you.
That's okay.
I feel like the issue with dealing with these individuals, the more deception we put on ourselves leads them to not trust us more. And unfortunately, anything that can cause aggravation towards these individuals are not favorable. I would recommend us going as we are.
I don't want to go tonight, though.
No. Well,
I'd say as well, so thinking about this, Eechie, you have a contact. You could very easily send a message tonight and try and be like, we are coming in, we've got them, we're gonna come in, lay off the bounty or whatever it is. You could try and make that contact with Goro and try and agree that.
And Eechie will. Eechie's not going to send a letter. Eechie's probably going to go themselves.
Okay.
Like, Eechie will kind of like, I'll meet you back at the tavern, or maybe a little bit later than 7.
Are you going to be safe on your own?
I will. They already have me as a possible tool to be used. It'd be a shame if they were to blunt their own weapon.
Thank you for turning up when you did. We managed to get out of sight, but if they'd have caught us, I think we'd have been in big trouble.
I'm not going to stand by and let people bully my friends. Sorry, traveling companions. They don't want to jump the gun.
At that point, I'll grab his hand and go, "Thank you, friend."
Eleni just looks uncomfortable.
And with that, we will end this week's session. Thank you very much for playing. As always, thank you very much for watching. If you're enjoying the new adventures of Astera, please hit that like and subscribe button so you know when the videos are coming out. Hit the notification bell. And as always, roll well. Bye.
Bye.
Can I go back to the taxi simulator?